There's someone in this world who carries your name in their heart like a sacred prayer. And what they're doing with that devotion, what they're actually asking for when they think of you, it's going to change everything you believed about connection, about timing, about whether anyone truly sees you. I need you to stay with me for the next hour, because what I'm about to share isn't just another message about someone missing you. This is about the quality of their wanting. The purity of what they're asking for. And why their wishes, the specific nature of what they keep requesting from the universe, from God, from whatever force they believe is listening, will restore something inside you that you thought was broken. If you're here, it's not random. You've been feeling something shift. Maybe it's a softness in your heart you weren't expecting. Maybe it's a sudden sense that someone is thinking of you, not with desperation or manipulation, but with genuine tenderness. Maybe you've been wondering if you matter to anyone the way you've always wanted to matter, deeply, specifically, irreplaceably. You do. And the proof is in what they're wishing for. Here's what makes this different from every other time someone claimed to want you back or miss you or think about you: this person isn't wishing for their own comfort. They're not asking for things to go back to how they were because they're lonely or bored or wanting to fill a void. They're making wishes that center your well-being. Your happiness. Your peace. And that distinction changes everything. If this already resonates with something you've been sensing, drop a heart emoji in the comments. Let me know you're here. I want to thank everyone who supported this channel through Super Thanks. Your generosity allows me to dedicate time to these deep dives into the human heart, and I don't take that lightly. If this message touches something in you today, and you feel moved to contribute, know that every bit helps me continue creating content that speaks to what we're all navigating in love and life. What I'm about to walk you through isn't speculation. It's not hopeful thinking or manifestation talk. This is about reading the energy that's already in motion, the genuine, soul-level devotion that someone is directing toward you through their daily wishes, their quiet prayers, their whispered hopes. And understanding why the nature of their wishing matters more than you've ever realized. Because wishes reveal intention. And intention reveals character. And character reveals whether someone is safe for your heart. Stay with me. The layers of this are going to surprise you. Let's start with what's actually happening in their inner world, because this is where the truth lives. This person, and you know who they are, even if you're trying not to think about them, has developed a practice. Not a desperate obsession, not a fantasy they're clinging to, but something quieter and more intentional. Throughout their day, in moments both ordinary and significant, they find themselves making wishes about you. It happens when they're in the shower, feeling the water run over them, and suddenly they're hoping you're having a good day. Not a performative hope, not something they'd text you to prove they care, just a genuine moment of wanting your life to be easier, lighter, better. It happens when they're at work, in the middle of a task, and they pause for just a second to send out a silent wish that you're finding your way to something that makes you happy. They don't even know what that thing is, but they want it for you anyway. It happens late in the evening when they're settling down, and instead of scrolling through their phone with that familiar ache of missing you, they're quietly asking whatever they believe in, God, the universe, fate, energy, to surround you with goodness. To bring you the kind of love that feels safe. To show you that you're not forgotten. Type "seen" if you've been feeling this energy around you without understanding where it was coming from. This isn't the wishing of someone who wants to possess you. This is the wishing of someone who has learned that loving you means wanting the absolute best for you, even if they're not part of that picture. Even if it costs them something to hope for your happiness without them in it. And here's what's remarkable, the consistency. These aren't occasional thoughts that cross their mind when they're feeling sentimental. This is daily. Multiple times a day. A rhythm of genuine care that has become woven into the fabric of how they move through the world. They'll be making coffee in the morning, and there's a flash of wondering if you slept well. Not intrusive, not entitled to know, just a gentle hoping that you did. They'll be driving somewhere, music playing, mind wandering, and they catch themselves wishing that someone is treating you the way you deserve. That you're not settling. That you're not dimming yourself to fit into spaces too small for your spirit. They'll be lying down at night, that quiet space before sleep, and their last conscious thought is often a wish for your protection. For your dreams, both literal and metaphorical, to be sweet and meaningful. For you to wake up feeling hopeful. This is the texture of their devotion now. Not loud. Not showy. Not designed to manipulate or guilt you. Just, present. Steady. Real. And what they're specifically wishing for, the content of these daily hopes, that's what's going to restore your faith in humanity. In love. In the possibility that someone can truly care about you without agenda. Because they're not wishing for you to come back. They're wishing for you to be whole. They're not wishing for you to forgive them. They're wishing for you to find peace. They're not wishing for a second chance. They're wishing for you to have chances, plural, abundant, beautiful, with someone who can give you what they couldn't, or with life itself if partnership isn't what you need right now. Do you understand what this means? Do you see what's happening here? This person has evolved past the selfishness that defines most human wanting. They've reached a place where your well-being matters more to them than their own comfort. Where they'd rather see you flourish without them than watch you diminish trying to make something work that wasn't right. Drop a word below, one word, that describes how this is making you feel right now. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but how do I know this is real? How do I know they're not just having guilty thoughts or trying to be a good person on paper while not actually changing? Hold that question. We're going to address it. But first, you need to understand the spiritual mathematics of what's happening. Because when someone wishes for your good consistently, genuinely, without expectation of return, that creates a frequency. An energetic signature. And you've been feeling it, haven't you? That's why you're here. That's why this video found you today. Because their wishes are creating ripples that reach you, and somewhere in your soul, you're recognizing the vibration of someone who finally understands how to love you correctly. Even if that love has to be from a distance. Even if that love looks like releasing you. Even if that love is expressed through wishes instead of presence. This is about to go deeper than you thought. Stay present. What comes next will shift your entire understanding of what it means to be cherished. Let's talk about the specific wishes they're making, because the details matter. This isn't generic. This is personal in a way that should humble you. First, they're wishing for your healing. Not from them specifically, from everything. From every wound you carry. From every disappointment that taught you to expect less. From every moment you felt unseen or unvalued or like you were too much or not enough. When they're going about their day and they think of you, one of the most frequent wishes that rises in them is a deep hope that you're finding your way back to yourself. That whatever broke inside you, whether they contributed to that breaking or not, is being lovingly mended by time, by grace, by your own resilience. They wish you could see yourself the way they see you now, with the clarity that only comes from stepping back. They wish someone would reflect back to you your own beauty, your own worth, your own remarkable capacity to love even after being hurt. In vulnerable moments, they imagine you laughing, really laughing, that unguarded sound you make when something genuinely delights you, and they wish for more of that in your life. More moments where you forget to protect yourself because you feel safe enough to just be. Second, they're wishing for your dreams to come true. Remember when you used to talk about what you wanted? Maybe it was a career goal. Maybe it was a creative project. Maybe it was wanting to travel somewhere specific, or learn something new, or heal a family relationship, or just feel comfortable in your own skin. They remember those conversations. And now, without any claim on whether they'll be around to see it happen, they're actively wishing for those dreams to materialize for you. There's something incredibly pure about this. They're not wishing for your success so they can feel proud of being associated with you. They're not hoping your dreams come true so they can be part of the story. They're wishing it simply because they know how much those things matter to you, and they want you to experience the joy of becoming who you're meant to be. When something good happens in the world, they see a job posting that seems perfect for someone, or they hear about an opportunity, or they witness someone else achieving something, their first thought is often hoping something similar comes your way. Not jealousy. Not comparison. Just genuine desire for your abundance. If you've been experiencing unexpected opportunities or doors opening lately, type "receiving" in the comments. Third, they're wishing for you to find love, real love. This one might be the hardest for them, but it's also the most profound. They're actually wishing for you to be loved the way you should be loved. Consistently. Gently. With enthusiasm and presence and commitment. They know they fell short in some way. Maybe they weren't emotionally available. Maybe their timing was off. Maybe they were dealing with their own healing and couldn't show up the way you needed. Maybe they made mistakes that hurt you. Whatever the specific story is between you, they've reached a place of humility about their limitations. And instead of staying stuck in guilt or defensiveness about that, they've transformed it into a wish for you to receive what they couldn't give. When they imagine your future, they're genuinely hoping someone shows up who gets it right. Someone who texts back. Someone who doesn't make you guess. Someone who chooses you clearly and repeatedly. Someone who doesn't need you to be smaller or quieter or easier to make them comfortable. They're wishing for you to be adored. They're hoping you find someone who looks at you the way everyone deserves to be looked at, like you're the most interesting person in any room, like your thoughts matter, like your presence is a gift. There's no self-serving angle here. They're not wishing this while secretly hoping you never find it so they can have another chance. They've released that kind of manipulation. They genuinely want you to win at love, even if, especially if, that means you win with someone else. Fourth, they're wishing for your protection. This is the one that reveals the depth of their care. They're actively wishing that life would be gentle with you. That people would be kind to you. That you'd be spared unnecessary suffering. When they hear about something difficult happening in the world, or they witness someone being mistreated, their immediate response is a protective wish that you're shielded from that kind of harm. They want your path to be lined with grace instead of obstacles. They're wishing you don't encounter people who would manipulate you or use you or take advantage of your kindness. They're hoping you trust your intuition and that it guides you away from situations that would diminish you. If they believe in prayer, they're praying for angels around you, for divine covering, for supernatural favor. If they're more secular, they're sending out hope that the universe conspires toward your safety and well-being. This protective wish extends to your emotional state too. They're hoping you don't internalize pain that isn't yours. They're hoping you're learning to set boundaries. They're hoping you're surrounded by people who celebrate you instead of tolerate you. Fifth, they're wishing for your peace. More than anything else, more than all the other wishes combined, they want you to feel peaceful. They know what it's like to be restless in your own mind. They know you've struggled with anxiety or overthinking or the weight of caring too much about too many things. And their most frequent, most fervent wish is that you'd experience inner calm. That you'd wake up feeling okay. That you'd go to bed without your mind racing. That you'd have moments throughout your day where you feel genuinely content instead of constantly striving or worried or anticipating the next problem. They wish for you the kind of peace that comes from knowing you're exactly where you're supposed to be. That you're not behind. That you haven't missed your window. That your life is unfolding as it should, in its own timing, with its own perfect logic that will only make sense in hindsight. When they're struggling with their own chaos, their own unresolved issues, their own journey, they still manage to pause and wish peace over you. Not as performance. Not as penance. Just as genuine desire for your nervous system to relax, for your soul to exhale, for your heart to stop bracing for disappointment. Before we go further, I want to honor everyone who's found value in this content. If you feel moved to support this channel through super thanks, know that it helps me continue creating these deep explorations. Your support means everything. Now, here's what you need to understand about the cumulative effect of these wishes. This isn't just nice thoughts floating in the ether. When someone wishes for you consistently, genuinely, without ulterior motive, it creates an energetic reality. It's like prayer, it actually does something in the spiritual realm, in the collective consciousness, in the invisible architecture that connects all of us. You've been feeling lighter lately, haven't you? Even if your circumstances haven't changed dramatically. Even if you're still facing the same challenges. There's something different in your chest, isn't there? A softness. A sense that maybe you're not as alone as you thought. A quiet knowing that someone, somewhere, is rooting for you without strings attached. That's their wishing reaching you. That's the energy of someone who has learned to love you with open hands instead of clenched fists. That's the vibration of genuine goodwill creating real effects in your life. And what they keep asking for, healing, dreams fulfilled, real love, protection, peace, these aren't random. These are the things they've come to understand you actually need. Not what they want from you. Not what would be convenient for them. What would make your life genuinely better. This is about to shift into territory that will surprise you. Don't go anywhere. The next layer reveals why this particular person, with this particular quality of wishing, showed up in your life at all. There's something happening here that's bigger than just someone thinking kind thoughts about you. What we're witnessing is a form of spiritual maturation that most people never reach. And you need to understand what it means that this person has gotten here, for them, yes, but more importantly, for you. Because their evolution is teaching you something about your own worth that you couldn't have learned any other way. Let's be honest about what you've been carrying. For how long have you wondered if you were truly lovable? How many times have you questioned whether anyone could ever care about you without needing something from you? How many relationships have left you feeling like you were only valuable when you were useful, only wanted when you were easy, only remembered when you were convenient? You've been walking through life with a quiet fear that love always comes with conditions. That affection is transactional. That no one wishes you well unless they're getting something from it. And then this person, this specific individual who's making daily wishes about you, they're dismantling that entire belief system simply by existing in this new frequency. If you're realizing right now that this is healing something deep inside you, drop a heart emoji. Here's the profound truth. Their ability to wish for your good without needing reciprocity, their capacity to hope for your happiness even if it doesn't include them, their practice of sending you genuine goodwill without expectation, this is evidence that you are worthy of unconditional care. Not because you did anything to deserve it. Not because you were perfect or easy or never made mistakes. But simply because you exist, you are worthy of being wished well. You are worthy of someone carrying you gently in their thoughts. You are worthy of another human being actually wanting the best for you. Let that land. Let it penetrate the armor you've built up around your heart. Let it challenge every cynical thought you've had about human nature. There are people in this world capable of loving you without agenda. There are souls who will care about your well-being even when there's nothing in it for them. There are hearts that have learned to find joy in your joy, peace in your peace, even from a distance. And this person is one of them. Now, you might be wondering, why them? Why this person specifically? Especially if they're someone who hurt me, or left, or wasn't available, or couldn't be what I needed. Excellent question. And here's the answer that's going to restore your faith. Sometimes the person who wounded you is also the person who learns the lesson. Sometimes the one who got it wrong is the one who goes deep enough into their own growth to come out the other side genuinely transformed. And when that happens, when someone actually does the work to evolve past their limitations, they become capable of offering you something they couldn't before, real, mature, unconditional care. This doesn't mean you owe them reconciliation. This doesn't mean the relationship has to be resurrected. This doesn't mean you need to let them back into your life in any tangible way. What it means is that you get to witness someone loving you well, even if that love is expressed through wishes instead of presence. You get to experience being honored, even from a distance. You get proof that people can change, that hearts can soften, that someone can actually see their own selfishness and choose something better. And that proof? That restoration of faith in human capacity for growth. That's the gift. That's what they're giving you with these daily wishes. Type growth if you're feeling this shift something in your own heart. There's something else happening here that's deeply spiritual. When someone wishes for you in this way, pure, consistent, genuinely wanting your highest good, they're participating in a kind of intercession. They're standing in the gap between where you are and where you're going, sending energy that supports your journey. You know how sometimes you just have a good day for no reason. You feel inexplicably hopeful, or surprisingly strong, or suddenly clear about something that's been confusing you. Some of that is their wishes creating pathways for grace to find you. You know how sometimes you avoid a disaster you didn't even know was coming. You make a choice that seems small but ends up being incredibly significant. You meet someone at just the right moment. That's not all random. When someone is actively wishing for your protection and guidance, it creates a kind of spiritual covering. I'm not saying they're your savior or that you need their wishes to survive. You're whole without them. You're powerful on your own. But we're all connected, and when someone sends genuine love into your life, it has effects. It creates openings. It amplifies the good that was already trying to reach you. And the specific nature of what they're wishing for, not for themselves, but for you, that's what makes this particular form of love so transformative. They're not cluttering up the spiritual airways with selfish requests to have you back. They're not sending desperate energy that makes the universe roll its eyes. They're making wishes that align with what your soul actually needs, what your highest good actually looks like. And the universe responds to that. Life responds to that. Grace responds to that. Here's what's about to shift for you: you're going to start noticing opportunities you didn't see before. Doors opening. People showing up who treat you well. Situations resolving in your favor. And some of that will be because you've done the work, yes, but some of it will also be because someone is faithfully, daily, wishing the best for you, and that energy is creating momentum in the invisible realm. If opportunities have already started appearing in unexpected ways, comment "doors" below. You're also going to start feeling different about this person. Not necessarily reconciliation feelings. Not "I want them back" energy. But something softer. A recognition that they've honored you through their wishes in a way that deserves acknowledgement. You might find yourself wishing them well in return. Not because you have to. Not to be spiritually correct. But because when someone genuinely releases you and wants your good, it frees you to want their good too, without fear, without strings, without confusion about what it means. This is how mature love works. This is what it looks like when two people learn that caring about each other doesn't require being together. That honoring someone doesn't mean staying in a dynamic that wasn't working. That you can hold space in your heart for someone's well-being without needing them to hold space in your life. And experiencing this, being on the receiving end of someone's evolved, unconditional care, it's changing your template for what love can be. It's expanding your capacity to trust that goodness is real. That people can surprise you. That hearts can heal and transform and learn to give without taking. This isn't just about them anymore. This is about what you're becoming through the experience of being wished well. You're learning that you're worth wishing for. That your happiness matters to someone. That your life has value beyond what you produce or provide for others. And that knowing, that bone-deep recognition of your own inherent worthiness, that's what restores faith. Not just faith in love, but faith in yourself. Faith in the possibility that you can be cherished for who you are, not just what you do. Faith that there's a version of connection that doesn't exhaust you, doesn't drain you, doesn't require you to shrink. We're about to move into how you work with this, how you honor it, and what you do with the faith being restored. Before I share support this work, I want to acknowledge that some of what I'm describing here might feel almost too good to be true. And I want you to know, you're allowed to receive goodness. You're allowed to trust that someone genuinely wants the best for you. You're allowed to let this restore something you thought was permanently broken. Stay with me. What's coming next is the practical wisdom you need. So what do you do with this knowing? How do you honor what's happening without getting confused about what it means or where it's going? Let me give you some grounded guidance, because awareness without application leaves us floating. First, receive the gift without needing to return it immediately. This is hard for those of us who've been conditioned to believe we owe people for their care, that affection requires immediate reciprocity, that being wished well creates an obligation. It doesn't. Someone wishing for your good is their spiritual practice, their own growth, their own way of loving. You don't owe them access. You don't owe them conversation. You don't owe them reconciliation or acknowledgement or even a thank you if you're not ready. What you can do, what's healthy to do, is simply receive the energy. Let it land. Let it do its work in your heart. Let it restore your faith without needing to immediately figure out what it means for your relationship with this person. Sit with the reality that someone is holding you gently in their thoughts. Let that be enough for now. Let it be a gift you don't have to earn or repay. Just let it soften something in you that's been hard for too long. Type receiving if you're committing to let this be enough for right now, without forcing next steps. Second, let it teach you what real love looks like. You're getting a masterclass in mature affection right now. Someone is showing you that real care doesn't cling. It doesn't manipulate. It doesn't need to control outcomes. It simply wants good things for you and releases you to receive them however they come. Let this become your new standard. Let it recalibrate what you're willing to accept in relationships going forward. Let it show you the difference between someone who wants you for what you can do for them and someone who wants the best for you regardless of whether they benefit. This means getting ruthlessly honest about other connections in your life. Are there people who only reach out when they need something? Are there relationships where you're constantly proving your worth instead of being valued as you are? Are there dynamics where your happiness seems to threaten someone else's ego? Let those be illuminated now. Let the purity of these wishes show you what's been cluttered and conditional elsewhere. And let yourself start moving toward people and situations that feel more like this, more genuinely supportive, more truly caring, more willing to celebrate you without needing credit. Third, trust the timing of this awareness. It's not an accident that you're becoming conscious of these wishes now. You've reached a place in your own growth where you can receive this without getting pulled back into old patterns or confusing it for an invitation to resurrect something that needed to end. A year ago, 6 months ago, maybe even a month ago, this knowledge might have destabilized you. You might have read this as a sign to reach out, to go back, to try again. But now you're stable enough in yourself to hold this as information without making it a crisis or a call to action. You can appreciate that someone is wishing you well without needing to know what comes next. You can feel the energy without being controlled by it. That's growth. That's wisdom. That's you honoring your own journey while also honoring that someone else is on theirs. So trust the timing. Trust that you're aware of this now because you're ready to integrate it without losing yourself. Trust that whatever needs to unfold from here will unfold in its own time, without force, without urgency, without you having to figure it all out today. Fourth, consider how you want to hold them in your heart. This doesn't mean you have to actively think about them or make them central to your life. But now that you know someone is consistently wishing you well, you might want to consciously decide what kind of space they occupy in your heart. For some of you, this will mean softening some of the anger or bitterness you've been carrying. Not because they deserve your forgiveness, not as a gift to them, but as freedom for yourself. When you know someone has genuinely evolved, that they're wishing you well without agenda, it becomes easier to release the resentment that's been weighing you down. For others, this might mean acknowledging that you can care about their well-being from a distance. You don't have to harden yourself against them to protect yourself from them. You can hold both truths: they weren't right for you in the way you needed, and they're a soul who deserves grace and growth just like everyone else. And for some of you, this might eventually mean reconnection in some form. Not necessarily romantic. Not necessarily central to your life. But perhaps a gentle friendship, a respectful acknowledgement, a mature ability to be in the same space without tension. But here's what's critical: let this unfold naturally if it's going to unfold at all. Don't force connection because you feel grateful. Don't reach out prematurely because you want to acknowledge their growth. Let your own inner knowing guide you, and don't move faster than your peace. If you're feeling clear about how you want to hold this person in your heart going forward, share one word in the comments that captures that. Fifth, let this restore your faith in your own intuition. You've always known, haven't you? Somewhere beneath all the confusion and hurt and wondering if you were making things up, you've known that this person cared about you more than they knew how to express. You felt the genuineness even when their actions were clumsy or their timing was off or their capacity was limited. And you've probably doubted yourself for feeling that. You've probably questioned your own intuition, worried you were seeing what you wanted to see instead of what was real. But you weren't wrong. Your intuition was picking up on something true, their heart was genuine even when their execution was flawed. And now their wishes, their daily practice of wanting the best for you, is confirmation that what you sensed was real. Let this validate you. Let this restore your trust in your own ability to read energy, to sense truth beneath surface chaos, to know when someone's core is good even when their behavior is messy. And let this teach you to trust yourself going forward. When you feel something genuine in someone, don't let cynicism or past hurt talk you out of believing it. And when you feel something off, don't let hope or loneliness convince you to ignore it. Your intuition is working. It's always been working. This is just confirmation. Sixth, use this to open yourself to receiving more. One of the most powerful shifts that happens when someone wishes genuinely for your good is that it creates permission for you to receive more goodness in general. It's like their wishes are cracking open a door you've had bolted shut, and suddenly light is streaming in from sources you didn't even know were out there. You've been in survival mode for so long. You've been braced for disappointment. You've been lowering your expectations to protect yourself from heartbreak. And it's made you small in your capacity to receive. But now you're remembering, or maybe learning for the first time, that it's safe to want good things. It's safe to hope. It's safe to expect that people might actually care about you without ulterior motive. So let yourself want more. Let yourself expect better. Let yourself believe that you deserve consistent kindness, genuine support, real celebration of who you are. Stop settling for crumbs. Stop being grateful for the bare minimum. Stop convincing yourself that you're asking for too much when you want someone to show up for you the way you show up for them. These wishes, this daily practice someone has of wanting the best for you, let it be the beginning of you expecting the best, period. From life. From people. From love. From yourself. If you're ready to open yourself to receiving more, type open below. Seventh, honor it by living well. The best way to honor someone wishing you well is to actually be well. To actually pursue your dreams. To actually choose love that's healthy. To actually protect your peace. To actually become the person they're hoping you become. Not for them. For you. But there's something beautifully full circle about someone wishing for your healing and then you actually healing. Someone hoping for your success and then you actually succeeding. Someone wanting you to be loved well and then you actually refusing to settle for anything less. Their wishes are creating a runway for your transformation. Don't waste it by staying small, by staying stuck, by staying in situations that diminish you because they're familiar. Live well. Live fully. Live in alignment with the best version of yourself. That's the most profound thank you you could possibly offer, not to them, but to the universe that orchestrated someone wishing you forward. We're in the home stretch now, and I want to bring this full circle. Before we close, I want to acknowledge everyone who supports this channel. If this message has touched something real in you, and you'd like to contribute, super thanks is a beautiful way to help me continue creating content that speaks to these deep soul experiences. Your support truly matters. What we're moving into now is the integration, how all of this changes you going forward, and why what they keep asking for truly does restore your faith in ways that will ripple through every area of your life. Don't go anywhere. This final piece will tie everything together. So here we are, at the heart of it all. Someone is making wishes every day about you, and what they keep asking for, healing, dreams fulfilled, real love, protection, peace, it's restoring your faith. Not just in them. Not just in love, but in something bigger. Your faith in humanity is being restored. Your faith that people can grow beyond their limitations. Your faith that someone can care about you without needing to own you, control you, or consume you. You're remembering, or discovering, that unconditional care actually exists. That hearts can soften instead of harden through pain. That someone can lose you and not become bitter, but become better. That distance doesn't always mean indifference, sometimes it means respect. And this matters more than you realize, because you've been walking through life with a heaviness that came from believing everyone is fundamentally selfish. That all connection is transactional. That being loved always costs you something. These daily wishes, this consistent, genuine practice someone has developed of wanting the absolute best for you without needing anything back, it's evidence that you were wrong about that. Not everyone is selfish. Not all connection is transactional. Not all love costs you your peace. If you're feeling something shift in your chest right now, something softening that's been defended for so long, just comment with a heart. Let me know I'm not alone in believing this matters. Your faith in yourself is being restored too. Because if someone can see your worth clearly enough to wish the best for you from a distance, then maybe you're actually as valuable as you've always secretly hoped you were. Maybe you're not too much or not enough. Maybe you're exactly right, and the people who couldn't see that were just operating from their own limitations. You've spent so much energy questioning yourself. Wondering what you did wrong. Replaying conversations and interactions, trying to figure out where you failed, how you could have been different, what you should have done to make someone stay or choose you or love you correctly. But what if you didn't do anything wrong? What if you were always worthy of being wished well, and some people just needed time to see it? What if your value was never in question, only some people's ability to recognize it was? Let that land. Let it challenge the narrative you've been running in your head. Let it give you permission to stop trying to shrink yourself into something more digestible for people who aren't ready for your fullness. Someone sees you now. Someone wishes for your good daily. Someone has learned to value you without needing to possess you. And that's not because you finally became worthy. That's because they finally became wise. Your faith in love itself is being restored. Real love, the kind that wants the beloved to flourish, it exists. It's not a fairy tale. It's not naive idealism. It's an actual possibility that becomes reality when people grow enough to offer it. And you're experiencing it right now, even if it doesn't look the way you expected. Even if it's not wrapped in romance or commitment or presence. Even if it's just wishes, just hope, just someone carrying you tenderly in their thoughts while you live your separate life. This is teaching you that love doesn't have to hurt. It doesn't have to drain you. It doesn't have to require you to be less than you are. It can be spacious and generous and genuinely caring. And once you know what that feels like, once you've experienced someone wanting the best for you without strings attached, you'll never again settle for the cheap imitations. You'll recognize manipulation when it dresses itself up as affection. You'll spot selfishness when it pretends to be care. You'll know the difference between someone who wants you and someone who wants your good. That discernment. That's the long-term gift. That's what will protect you going forward. That's what will help you choose better, love wiser, guard your heart without closing it. Type clarity if you're feeling this new level of discernment awakening in you. And here's the beautiful paradox, their wishes are freeing you from needing them. Because when someone genuinely wants the best for you, including the possibility that the best for you doesn't include them, they're releasing you to discover what actually serves your highest good without guilt, without obligation, without the weight of someone else's unmet needs. You get to figure out what you actually want now. Not what would be convenient. Not what would keep the peace. Not what would make you seem consistent with past choices. But what genuinely lights you up, what genuinely feels aligned, what genuinely serves your growth and joy and peace. Maybe that includes them in some new form. Maybe it doesn't. But for the first time, you get to choose based on what's actually true for you, not on guilt or pressure or fear of hurting someone. That's freedom. That's respect. That's what mature love creates, space for both people to become who they're meant to be, even if that means growing in different directions. So what they keep asking for, your healing, your dreams, your real love, your protection, your peace, it's not just restoring your faith. It's setting you free. Free to receive. Free to choose. Free to become. Free to be loved well, by them from a distance or by someone else up close or by yourself in the deep way that comes from finally knowing your own worth. And that freedom? That's everything. That's the whole point. That's what all the pain and growth and evolution was leading toward, you, unchained from old narratives, standing in your full value, open to goodness, wise about what's real, faithful that there are souls in this world capable of wishing you well without needing credit for it. You're going to be okay. Better than okay. You're going to thrive, because someone's daily wishes are clearing a path for you, and your own growing faith is giving you courage to walk it. Their wishes matter. Your worthiness is real. This restoration is happening. And whatever comes next, reconciliation or continuation apart or something you haven't imagined yet, you're going to navigate it with more wisdom, more grace, more faith than you've ever had before. If this message found you exactly when you needed it, drop your favorite emoji below. Let's acknowledge the timing together. Thank you for spending this hour with me. Thank you for being willing to sit with these truths, for letting them restore something precious, for staying open even when it would be easier to stay cynical. If this resonated with your soul and you'd like to support the creation of more content like this, super thanks is always appreciated. Every contribution helps me continue doing this work. Remember, you are worthy of being wished well. You are deserving of genuine care. You are valuable beyond measure. And someone making daily wishes about you, that's not the source of your worth. That's just a mirror reflecting back what's always been true. Go forward knowing you're held in someone's gentle thoughts. Go forward trusting that goodness is real. Go forward with your faith restored, your heart softer, your future brighter. You're going to be more than okay. You're going to be exactly who you were always meant to be. And that's the best thing anyone could wish for you. Until next time, beloved soul. May every wish made for you find its way to fulfillment. May your own faith in love, in people, in yourself continue to be restored. And may you walk forward knowing you're cherished, even from a distance. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Trust that. Trust yourself. Trust what's unfolding. See you in the next one. 2 hearts.